What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Bear Down Boys podcast, where we've taken 2 weeks off for no fucking reason, but we're back this week after a win against the Raiders. I didn't really watch much of it because I was sleeping, but Tyson Bagent played well enough. What do you guys think about the win against the Raiders? All these dogs try to climb on top of me.
I was more impressed with the defense than anything. Like, yeah, Bagent was cool, whatever. But the defense, I think, is up to the 5th ranked run defense in football now. They totally neutralized Josh Jacobs. And, we saw Jalen Johnson double his career interception total in one game and then get another interception on top of that. So he went from 1 career pick to 3 in a game. And just as a whole, I thought the defense looked a lot better than it has. I don't know if it's because of Phil Snow being brought onto the coaching staff or if it's because everybody's finally fucking healthy. But the defense looked good. And, I'm happy about that. And obviously Foreman was a beast and all that. But Bagent was like maybe 4th or 5th on the list of things that I was happy about with this game. So.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Foreman and the defense come first. Josh Jacobs, let me look at his numbers. Yeah, 11 carries, 35 yards, 3.2 average. Like, we have one of the best running backs in the league to next to nothing. And then that meant the Raiders' offense got held next to nothing because they also couldn't find Devontae Adams, and the run game couldn't go in with Brian Hoyer. Somewhat grateful Jimmy G didn't start because I think that offense is semi more competent with him. But at least he still has the arm and he's not like 35 years old. But the defense was outstanding. Dante Foreman was incredible and should never be listed as inactive again.
Absolutely.
The elephant in the room is Bagent, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And I think we should enjoy that because I know the discourse around who should be the Bears coach or quarterback now is like exhausting. Just like enjoy the fact that he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He took what the defense gave him, mostly checkdowns, mostly to his first read when the guy was open, didn't turn the ball over. That is how you win a football game, and that's what he did.
Yeah, the reason why I brought Bagent first is because he was kind of like the big headline around everything. Not because he was like the best player there. Obviously, Foreman, I believe, was. And I accidentally left my fantasy bench, which really made me upset, but I still get the win. But anyways, just because Bagent was the big headline coming out of this game was that Bagent won the game ball. He was an undrafted free agent that they picked up after the draft and everything like that. And he just has this long history that we've talked about back in the preseason, but that he was kind of like the headliner here as the big headline that coming out of the game after the win. And in no way do I think he should be QB1 over Fields because I think Fields overall has the higher ceiling, obviously, and I think that more Getsy's offense is catered towards Bagent's play style versus Fields.
Well, it's just easier to scheme for a game manager because you don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to do anything funky. It's just, hey, we're going to run the football. And every once in a while on like 3rd and 5, you might have to hit a backside dig or, we might have you throw a curl to DJ and see what he can do. Like it's a lot simpler of an offense for a quarterback like Bagent than it is for a quarterback like Fields. Like I saw a lot of people on Twitter bitching about how it seems like Getsy only wants to call the good plays for Bagent. And it's like, if you watch the game, he ran more screens than he has with Fields in the last like 3 weeks, because that's what works with a guy like Bagent. He had an average depth of target of 2.1 yards. Like he was not doing anything but checking the ball down. I think he threw the ball beyond 15 yards once, and they benched him and brought in Nathan Peterman to throw a fucking Hail Mary. Like, they clearly don't trust his arm. There's clearly still limitations with Bagent. But the issue is Bagent's strengths are Fields' weaknesses. So the quick processing, the getting the ball out, the pocket manipulation, the pocket presence, all of that is better with Bagent than it is with Fields. And I think more than anything, Bears fans are just confused because let's be honest, this fan base doesn't know what good quarterback play is. So they see a guy that's doing what Fields isn't, and immediately something in their mind flips, and it's like, oh, he's doing the opposite of what the guy that we're being told is bad is doing, so he must be good. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love for Bagent to be the next Brock Purdy. I'm rooting like hell for the guy. He went to high school an hour and 20 minutes away from where I live. Like, Bagent's about to become my equivalent of Jarrett's Roshan Johnson.
You're supposed to say.
Yeah, like I saw a clip the other day actually where he was talking about what he would have done if he wouldn't have made it in the NFL, and he said he was going to teach at his old high school, which is crazy to think about. A guy that would have been a senior in high school the year I was a freshman, went to school an hour and 20 minutes away from me, is now the quarterback for the Bears. That's wild. So like I'm rooting like hell for the guy. I would love for this to be Purdy 2.0, but pump the brakes on that. Let's calm down. We haven't seen him do anything but beat up on the Raiders defense, kinda. So let's just, it's the expectations and the reaction to this game, as per usual with Bears fans, are completely blown out of the water. And I think people just need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with mostly everything you said because he's a great story, obviously. Like, even better than Purdy in a lot of ways because this dude was, this dude was D2. All due respect, no one is watching D2 football. People are watching D3. The every so often it shows up on TV. No one is watching D2 football. You could maybe find it on ESPN Plus or Flow Sports. Like, that's it. You're not finding it anywhere else. All due respect to D2 football, but that's just how it is. Undrafted, showed out at the Senior Bowl. His dad is like an arm wrestling champion.
48-time world champion arm wrestler.
Which is incredible.
I think you should. I thought we were talking like wrestling. Oh, I would be like fucking.
No, arm wrestler, real wrestling, Grayson, not that WWE shit. Real men committing real physical violence towards one another.
I will show you real violence.
No, you won't.
No,
he's just a great story. And to your point, Miller, like, we don't know what good quarterbacking is. So like whenever we see something that's mildly good, we get really excited and think Super Bowl, which to me is a fair logic. Because that's just how it is being a sports fan. But like when you do exactly what you're told to do against a struggling Raiders team, like just putting it into perspective, just kind of bringing us back down to earth a little bit, because the next team we face is the Chargers, who, albeit struggling like the Raiders are, and we'll get into that later, but like have a better defense and have a guy on the other side of the field that we know very well, and I miss him dearly, and he's very scary this year. It's like what he was in his first year with the Bears again, Khalil Mack. So we'll get into that more, but it's like, for what it is for this week, just enjoying it. And like, we don't need to talk about QB controversy. It's one game. It is one game.
Yeah. Well, everyone always gets blows out of proportion. I mean, Kaepernick came in for Alex Smith, and Kaepernick came in after like one game. Everyone was calling Kaepernick the next like Brady. It happens with every backup quarterback party. It happens every time. I think the casual sports fan just wants a underdog story like Kurt Warner again or Brady, and understandably why. But like, I think that you have to keep a reasonable head when it comes to these guys. When it's one game, it's against a mediocre defense, and I think he showed off enough of talent to like, okay, we can game manage, but it's more on our defense to play out, to like be the best they can. It's the guys like Foreman showing out and being good players. And if we get Roshan back or Herbert back, which I don't think we're going to need Herbert back for another 2-3 weeks.
He's on short-term IR, so he's at least 4 weeks, yeah.
And Roshan should be back sometime in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think he just got cleared to play next week. If not, he's like in the final stages of getting cleared, so I'd imagine he plays next week.
Having Foreman and Johnson in that backfield, it's going to be scary for anyone. But like I said, having a team effort rather than one guy show out when we have our number one guy out with Justin Fields with his thumb, and Badger just playing decent enough to get us to the red zone, is all we really need from him. So as long as he's doing that, I'm happy for the performance we're having. Hopefully this doesn't save Fluce's job because it might.
No, he's gone. There's no
He
chance.
has to be.
No,
McCaskey
the
just
writing
doesn't
is on
fire
the
guys
wall.
mid-season. That's all.
Yeah. No, he is the least winningest Bears coach of all time. And I think I saw a stat last week that said he had to win his next 8 to just get out of that position to be the second least winningest Bears coach. So he's done.
Okay, theoretically, hold on. If he were to do that, who would be first then? If he were to drop back down to
Fox?
No, it's not. I don't. Is
it Tressman?
It might be Tressman. It's either Tressman or some rando. Hold on.
Because it's not going to happen. But I'm genuinely curious who would go back to first, or who was.
We're gonna find it.
Who would be left? I mean, but I've seen the Bears do some stupid shit, so I could imagine them being like, "Oh, he won a bunch of games for us when he was not supposed to with a backup quarterback. Let's give him another shot. We should just go get Ben Johnson and have this night review over."
I will say, given today's news, that I don't feel like, today being, I don't know when this is going to be posted, but Monday, October 23rd, correct? Yeah. That I'm not going to state, but if you follow college football, you know what that news is. I'm a fan of said team.
Oh.
I will say the good news to come from it, head coach Jim Harbaugh of the Chicago Bears.
If he's able to scheme up that's
a positive side.
If he can do what his brother has done with Lamar, with Fields, I'm happy for it. Let's take him in, but I don't know. I'm kind of sketchy on the guy. He's been.
You either love him or hate him. That's for sure.
It's not even, I don't love or hate him. It's just like I don't know what he can do at the NFL level because he's been at Michigan for what, like 6-7 years now at the point.
7 years. It has been 10 years since he was in the pros. So that's fair criticism.
Yeah. So it's not that I'm against it. It's more that I'm afraid of another year of us going after a head coach who's supposed to be the next best thing that we can get, and him coming up a little short when we had these big hopes. And I mean, if you're gonna get like Ben Johnson, who's been in the league, who's made Jared Goff look like a top 12-ish quarterback in the last few years, I mean, imagine what he can do.
I think that's fair, but ultimately, what the Lions did was they got Jared Goff, and then they boosted their O-line. And if you give Jared Goff time, he's good. He's great, even. So I still have questions about Ben Johnson, especially after the Ravens game. But that I still think this is a good Lions team. Going off topic, that seemed like a blip on the radar, and the Ravens just had probably their best game of the season. Because the Ravens, I still don't know about either of these teams. Who's good in the NFL? No one really knows.
This season, it's just been there's been like 2 good quarterbacks.
There's an insane amount of parity, and then there's like 3 teams that are bad.
Yeah.
That's it. By the way, to answer your question, Nicole, the lowest winning percentage for a Bears head coach of all time, if Eberflus were to do, I think it would now be like 7 wins, is Abe Gibran. Or Gibran.
Ooh.
Yeah, he coached from 1972 to 1974.
That's why.
Okay.
He had a career record of 11-30-1.
Jeez.
Yeah. Also, I was slightly off. John Fox is 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is actually worse than Tressman by a little bit, but he's worse than Tressman.
Tressman had good offenses, though. You gotta remember.
Yeah.
Marshall and Jay Cutler for a while.
Believe it or not, he got Jay Cutler to care about football.
No, so he didn't get Jay Cutler to care about football. It was Adam Gase, the offensive coordinator. We got Adam Gase a career.
Yeah,
Jay Cutler caring about football. Yeah, Jay Cutler caring about football for 1 season gave Adam Gase a head coaching job. That's crazy. I always forget that was a thing.
That's hilarious. But you know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
Dude Stockton was kind of a weirdo, but no, I can't even be mad about that.
At least Adam Gase isn't like a weirdo. He's just an eccentric individual.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah. He's strange.
We like weird guys. We don't like weird guys.
He's a funky little fella. That's what I'll call him. He was a funky little fella.
He's like a Baker Mayfield weirdo rather than a Deshaun Watson weirdo.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Who, by the
what
way,
is Adam
sucks
Gase
now.
up to?
Let's go. Big wins here in week 7 or week 7, right?
Well, okay, so he hasn't coached football since 2020.
Well, yeah, he got fired from the Jags.
Right, but I still figured he got picked up as like because he was a good offensive coordinator. I don't know why he's not like a
That was more
position coach
Manning.
somewhere.
Manning kind of gave him that boost that he needed.
He was not the offensive coordinator. That was with Cutler. I'm talking about with the Bears.
Gase was the fucking OC with the 2013 Broncos.
I mean, maybe he was. I don't remember the.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah,
but I was talking about.
I
was specifically talking about with the Bears. Yeah, I forgot about the Broncos stint, but
that's what I'm talking about.
The latest things I'm seeing just from the news tab on the internet is that Le'Veon Bell revealed an odd play from his playbook.
What was this odd play?
That's what we're going to find out.
Cooking with Le'Veon Bell.
3 weeks ago. Back to Adam Gase real quick. A Redditor posted, "Why hasn't Adam Gase returned to the NFL in any capacity?"
Huh?
It's his eyes.
So I guess he's not in the NFL?
Yeah.
And the first person to respond, this is an NFL Reddit, was a Jets fan who said he got $20 million from the Jets. Enjoy retirement.
Fair.
I mean, fair.
Fair.
That's valid. According to PFF, Jalen Johnson has a 22.2 passer rating allowed this season, which is the lowest among all quarterbacks. Pay this man. Why is bro angry?
Listen to this. So the weird thing that Le'Veon Bell's describing is there was a game where Adam Gase, during the scripted section of his playbook, had like 4 or 5 draw plays within the first 10 plays, which weird, right?
Screens.
This article says, being the innovator that Adam Gase is, he had their backup center, whoever it was at the time, line up at fullback. I now know who I have to blame. I will be finding Adam Gase.
Well, how about those Browns using their center as a fullback to win the game?
Don't care. It makes me physically ill.
They got
every time I see.
Hosed.
Okay, well,
yeah, they did.
What's
the catchable ball my ass?
Miller,
exactly. Thank you,
Miller. What positions are like allowed to move to fullback?
Tight ends, some halfbacks, and defensive tackles.
But linebackers are off the board.
No, linebackers too. Actually, I forgot about linebackers.
Like
You're
Nick
right
Bowden,
on
that. Kick your ass.
Not Nick Bowden, Nick Bellore. First of all,
same person.
And second of all, there's a lot of players who fail as linebackers in the NFL and then switch to fullback and are successful. Like Jason Kabinda, Keith Smith. There were a couple older guys too that I can't remember off the top of my head. But I almost plus the Lions played Malcolm Rodriguez at fullback this week.
I wish Jared was here because
listen, Rodrigo gets the stamp of approval. He's been knighted.
Okay,
he's been fullback knighted.
Wait, exactly. Why was
playing? He's been hurt on and off the past 2 years. Maybe he's hurt again. I don't know.
All right.
I mean, we played fucking Robert Tonyan at fullback this week, so. Which, by the way, fuck you, Luke Getsy, for that. That was disgusting. It worked, thankfully. But putting your worst blocking tight end in for one snap at fullback, cut me a break. Put Mercedes Lewis back there.
At least Kari got the highlight of the game, which was the celebration between him and Foreman just slapping each other.
Yeah, which, by the way, all the freaking news sites that are like Deontay Foreman's a legend for this. Deontay Foreman and Kari Blasingame, god damn it. There were 2 people involved. It takes 2 to tango. And fuck Barstool Sports in particular.
Like, yeah,
as always.
Yeah. And not even related to that. Just fuck Barstool.
They didn't even post the article.
No, they did, but also fuck Barstool. Separate from that. Fuck Barstool twice. How about that? We'll put it that way.
Valid.
Oh, my God.
Fucking creeps.
Are we thinking of the same thing that we're calling creeps for?
Their founder being a rapist?
I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking more about the Taylor Swift take that they had like a few weeks ago.
Oh, dear God. What did they say about Tay? What did they say?
No, I was talking about a few weeks ago about the proof they needed for Kelsey and Taylor.
Oh, that I tried to block that out of my memory. Yeah, listen, as a Bears fan,
That was like
fuck
Big Cat.
Cat.
Who everyone thought was like okay.
Yeah, as a Bears fan, fuck
yeah,
Big
yeah.
Cat. That is disgusting.
Yeah, no.
Joke or not, I don't care. That is disgusting. It's misogynistic, and I don't understand. That's a grown ass man with a wife and children, and he thought that was okay to say.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
Oh, excuse me.
But anyways, the Bears, Deontay Foreman, pretty good. I thought he was pretty cool. Yeah.
And he rode my fantasy bench. I'm really upset about that.
The play where I can't remember who it was, but he trucked one of the corners
Mhm.
and then turned around and pointed at him. That shit went hard. More running backs need to do that. More running backs need to run people over and then point at who they ran over.
Oh, I saw that a few
Agreed.
weeks ago against the Jets. It was some tackle or something. Literally, like he pushed the I think it was Jermaine Johnson away and like embarrassed him and just pointed at him and then got back into his stance.
Listen, the day I see a fullback do something like that, you will never hear the end of it.
I know.
Of course, no fullback is cocky enough because they are all humble kings. But
I
the day I see a
embarrassing someone and be like, "Fuck you."
No, Kyle's not like that. He's chill. He's too chill. I gotta think. I'm trying to think of who the flashiest fullback would be that would do something like that. I don't know if there is one right now.
Flashy enough? I mean,
Yeah, that like flash.
A fullback?
No, that's not what I mean by flashy. Vocal, like.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Like, Skoranek would be like the most flashy person I could think of. Plus, he's in LA, so.
I don't know. Maybe Juszczyk would do it. Maybe if it was like an insane lead block, Kyle would get up or point at somebody. I don't know. I just want to see it. I don't care who it is. Just give it to me.
Fair enough.
If Kari did it,
Kittle's
I'd
next
explode.
To Juszczyk, maybe. If Kittle is next to Juszczyk after the play, celebration, whatever, maybe.
Oh my god.
I think he could egg him on.
The world would end if those two combo blocked somebody and then did a wrestling celebration after the fact, because they'd do it.
God. I would love that.
Yeah. I mean,
that would go hard.
They would absolutely get penalized for it, but I would personally pay their fine.
If they did the fucking DX sucky, right afterwards, I'd fucking lose my mind. Miller, I'd be right on top of that boat with you. I'd be like, it wouldn't.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about like one of them suplexing the other, just like straight up, just like Juszczyk picking up Kittle and like Bane dropping him on his knee or something. Like that would be hilarious. That would go so unbelievably hard.
Do you think Kittle could pick up Juszczyk like that?
I think either one could pick up the other. Neither one of them is like insanely heavy.
Like you get all that equipment and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like, I don't know. Kittle did it to Juszczyk at the Pro Bowl. They weren't wearing equipment, but he still did it. He did something similar.
Fair.
I don't know. Either way.
Hey, Bears.
Yeah, Foreman doing that to that corner was incredible. Him trying to hurdle every time he ran the ball was terrifying. And we saw him pay the price for it when he landed square on his ass and hurt his tailbone. But still awesome. I love it. I'm all about it. And also, I feel so bad for Travis Homer.
What's up with him?
So they brought him in for one play, threw him the ball, and he dropped it, thought he fumbled it. They called it a forward pass. And then when the Raiders kicked the onside kick at the end of the game, they kicked it directly at his face, and it went doink and flipped up in the air. Komet was there to catch it. But, I mean, they literally kicked the ball directly at his face. And it worked. Like, they had a chance for the ball, to get like a 50-50 on an onside. But those are the only two things he did in the game. He was slated as the team's third running back coming into the season. And now he's behind a dude who was a healthy scratch for 3 weeks and a guy we picked up off the practice squad. And all he's doing is fumbling.
It's him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Darrington Evans is cool and all.
He's not like some of our friends like Mr. Valente say he is. But, bro, like, even during like the Vikings game, he was running through people like.
Yeah, no, he's a cool RB4. He's a cool RB4. I'm with it.
Yeah.
With
starting quarterback.
Yeah, with Roshan and Khalil Herbert out, I'm all for having a guy like that. But he's not better than either of them. He's not better than Foreman. I don't think anyone is like seriously saying that he is. So this point is moot. But like, for the one person that is, just know He's RB4.
A cool RB4, but RB4 nonetheless.
Yeah. But that's crazy to think. Our RB4 would be like an RB2 on most teams. We have 3 running backs that would start on other teams.
My ass is about to say the Packers, but I remember that A.J. Dillon's still pretty decent.
Yeah, A.J. Dillon remembered how to play football in the past like 3 weeks after being dog shit all of last year in the first couple weeks this year.
Man, he got into the farming sims.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. We got 3 running backs who would be RB1 in Pittsburgh.
That's not saying much. Danny Harris doesn't.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, as a fuck you to Pittsburgh fans.
They've also RB1 in Minnesota, so.
Oh, yeah,
Easily.
absolutely.
Without trying.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of Madison defenders, so.
I feel bad for Madison, but like he's not good.
I do too, because he was kind of good that one. Like he had a few stretch of games with Dalvin Cook in, I think last year or 2 years ago, and then he's just done nothing since.
He's just an RB2 at this point.
Yeah, he's a stereotypical like power back, you know, that you bring in on the goal line, not like a power back with juice like Foreman is or Chubb or whoever. That's weird to put them in the same sentence, but it's also not. Because like statistically last year, those two were almost identical when Foreman took over.
Yeah.
And they run very similar. That's the only thing. Foreman's one of those guys that runs like he hates the ground. I know Mahomes said that about Isaiah Pacheco, and I can't get that out of my mind. Like that's the coolest analogy ever for power backs. Yeah. But we have 2 guys that are like that, and then Khalil Herbert when he's healthy, and also Darrington Evans being like the juiced up backs in the backfield. Our backfield's so fun. It's awesome. I love it. Plus, you got a top 5 fullback leading the way. Like, cut me a break. It's crazy.
Miller fangirling over our run game is what makes me happy in that. Because I know that if he's fangirling over our run game, it's a good run game.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you add in having absolute maulers on the offensive line. They all looked great in run blocking yesterday. Tevin Jenkins, one of the best run blocking guards in football.
Is Braxton back yet?
Who?
Braxton?
No, Braxton's still out, unfortunately. Larry Borum sucks.
Was right out last
Yeah,
game?
dude's becoming a liability.
Yeah, he's always been a liability. I'm not a Borum fan. But he
feels
looked
like he gets
good. Yes,
for a penalty every other play.
Yeah, no, he had. I know he had at least one big run wiped off the board. Mm-hmm. One big Darrington Evans run, for holding. It might have been 2, because he had 2 holding penalties. I can't remember what the other play was. But Darnell Wright looked good, all things considered. Going up against Max Crosby, he held his own yesterday, which was nice.
And he was hurt, right?
Who, Darnell?
Yeah, he had an achy injury or something.
Yeah, he was questionable going into the game. I think he gave up like 4 pressures, but there were also a couple plays where Bajent was holding the ball too long, so it happens. Like, people forget the thing that makes Darnell Wright's rookie season more impressive than I think a lot of people give it credit for is the fact that every play he's having to hold his block upwards of like 5 to 6 seconds, and that's just not normal. Like, that's not something you're going to be asked to do with 90% of quarterbacks. So the fact that he's been doing it, not only doing it, but doing it efficiently against a gauntlet of good pass rushers. I mean, he's gone up against Max Crosby, Danielle Hunter, Rashawn Gary. Who else have we played that I'm forgetting? Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Like, it's been a straight up gauntlet for the guy, and he's held his own. Like, he's looked great. And then Tevin had 0 pressures allowed, 0 sacks allowed, just mauled yesterday. If he can stay healthy, he'll be one of the 3 to 5 best guards in football. Yeah. And I say that with confidence. Like, I can fully 100% confidently say we have our left guard and right tackle locked down for the next decade plus if they can both stay healthy.
Yeah.
Braxton, questionable, and then you need a center, and then Nate Davis will be around for a couple years.
I mean, if we're on the board and Olu or Alt are
right, that's what I'm saying. Like, Braxton's fine, but if you have a chance at a guy like that, you take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if Braxton's your swing tackle, you're feeling fucking fantastic. Mm-hmm. If he's your starter, you're also feeling pretty okay.
Yeah.
So,
quickly before we move into the Chargers game, I want to talk about the NFC North standings right now. We are currently tied with 3 teams, with the Packers and the Vikings. Technically, we have one more loss than both the Vikings and Packers, but It's currently the Lions division to lose. If they somehow manage to fumble a 5-2 record to 3-2-4 and 1-2-5 teams, I mean, you're looking at an all-time Lioning. I do want to talk about the strange case that could happen if we win too many games, getting a second place record in the NFC North puts us next season in a really hard position because we'll be dealing with second place teams in our playing. So,
oh, okay. Thank God. I thought you were going with us somehow making the playoffs on some
No,
technicality, and I was
I'm
about to
talking
get up
about
and leave.
I'm talking about the bad position is us playing.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You've got a point
Schedule.
there. You've got a point. I thought you were about to say, if we do this, we get in second place, and this team loses this many games, this other team loses this many games, we can sneak in as the 7th seed. And I was about to leave.
No, I don't.
I am not talking
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah, no.
I remember 2020, man. 2020 was bad.
But yeah, no. I mean, it'll. I don't think it'll happen just because of the divisional matchups. When we play Minnesota again, I don't think we'll beat them. And
they looked pretty bad when we played them last time. We were just terrible.
Right.
That was an all-time bad game.
They'll have Jefferson though.
And I think they'll keep improving. I'm not doubting so much on Minnesota yet. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
Future me watching this against the Niners, which is like a really bad sort of way to tell if they've improved because they're gonna maul Kirk Cousins. But
oh yeah,
I still don't doubt the Vikings' ability to be second. Not necessarily the playoffs, not necessarily win the division, but I think second is still fairly likely. And to your point, Miller, the division matchups, I think we can beat Green Bay again. I wish, but I think we can beat Green Bay. Yeah. I don't know about Detroit. Yeah, Minnesota the next time. I just hope we don't get swept. I'm gonna be honest. I just hope we don't get swept.
Yeah. The only thing is, though, we saw what happens when you give Kirk Cousins a ton of time in the pocket. That is one thing he will take advantage of. And our pass rush has looked better, to its credit, but it's still not good. It's still not even average. It went from worst in the league to slightly below average, and that's improvement. But it's only going to take you so far when you're going up against the best tackle duo in football and a quarterback that will make you pay when he has a ton of time in the pocket. But when it comes to Detroit, I don't think we have a chance in hell, if I'm being totally honest, for primarily the same reason. You're going up against an even better offensive line with a quarterback, like Nicole said, that when you give him time can cook. Those are going to be 2 tough games.
If we trade for Trubisky, he's defeating against the Lions. He can't lose against Detroit.
He did lose against Detroit, though.
Did he?
Yes.
I'd rather see Tyson out there than Mitch. I'm gonna be real. I'd rather see something new. Let me put it that way.
I don't know. I kind of miss him.
Joke.
There were parts of me that miss Mitch too, but more so off the field, not on. But
no, his number is taken over by a better quarterback right now. So
it wasn't completely his fault. I completely stand by.
I forgot we had Trace. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. But I have said this time and time again since 2018 that they gave up on Mitch when it came down to it. They gave up on him. They did nothing to help him. And what sucks is feels like what we're seeing now. It's just that's a scheme. Too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, though, I feel like it's a little bit more understandable, at least from a general manager perspective, because obviously we've heard it time and time again, Poles didn't draft Fields, whereas Pace, he drafted Trubisky. That was his mistake. Either way, you don't stick with Trubisky. He was bad. He wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess in a way they gave up on him, but rightfully so, as shitty as that is to say. Trubisky's still one of my favorite players ever.
I don't mean at the end of the season. I mean in season. In season they gave up on him.
But again, it was
when he was playing, they didn't give him any chances to look good.
Yeah.
He
again, degree,
I know he did that himself too. But to a certain degree, yeah, they did nothing to help him on the field.
Yeah, they didn't do him any favors. I get what you're saying
Right.
now, and I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely didn't do him any favors, but
That's
he
what
also
made me
didn't do them any favors. So it was. I like Mitch. He was never going to be a starting NFL quarterback. He's just not.
My question for you guys is
Good backup.
why does the Bears organization give up on quarterbacks midseason but refuses to let coaches give up on coaches midseason?
Because professionalism or something. I don't know. See, the problem is, and I've talked about this time and time again, George McCaskey cares more about his friendship with his coach and general manager than he does about the product on the field. Like, he wants a coach and general manager he can invite to his house for Thanksgiving, not one that's going to win football games. And like,
as an owner, you got to be cutthroat with that stuff.
Right. Like, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick have fucking hated each other for years.
Yeah.
And I know the Patriots aren't like in the best spot right now, but they also don't have a quarterback. They were good for a long time. And sure, there's plenty of organizations where the head coach and the GM get along, or the head coach and the owners get along. And that's a good thing, but not when it comes at the cost of the product on the field. And that's the problem. The McCaskies run the Bears like a mom and pop shop. And this is the NFL. This isn't, like a flag football team or some shit. This is real football, real business. And it sucks. But at a certain point, you have to take the personal aspects out of it and look at things objectively. And, I made that whole video, and this was a big part of it, complaining about what's going on with the Bears. And I'm hoping and praying that Kevin Warren can pull that out of the McCaskies, or at the very least put his influence in and make it so it's like, hey, listen, I get that you like the guy. He's not good at his job. Mm-hmm. And whether that comes with Poles and Eberflus or just Eberflus, my money would be on just Eberflus, but who knows? It's got to happen. And I know it's a really weird thing that the Bears refuse to fire coaches midseason, but I think that's just going to be how it is, as shitty as it is.
It's gonna be a weird trivia fact for bar trivia. It's the one team that won't fire a coach midseason.
Well, I'm sure there's others.
Steelers are another notable one.
I was gonna say.
The Steelers also have had 3 coaches since 1985.
Yeah, which is also insane.
Yeah.
I don't really count the Steelers as a part of that.
They've paid off some voodoo man to not go under 500 with Mike Tomlin. I swear. Because again, they're not going to do it again. I'm telling you, they're already 4-3. It's just when we thought that they might, they're not going to. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I just realized how cutthroat the AFC North is.
Well, Cleveland's a bunch of frauds, so.
Well, yeah, they still employ weirdo, so.
Yeah.
And
give him a bunch of guaranteed
Walker, who was our backup cut, is doing better than him. So.
Yeah, which shout out to him for being cleared to go in off the concussion protocol and just saying, no, I'm good.
Is that really what happened? I'm so lost by that.
In the last game against Indy, yeah.
That's wild.
He went down in the first quarter with a concussion. They cleared him, and he was like, I'll stay out. And then the refs handed them a win.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
that is what happened. Yeah.
Bears as a whole, I'm super impressed with the defense right now. Like I said, Javon Dexter continues to get better. Tremaine Edmonds is finally making splash plays, which is big because a lot of people were looking at him as a waste of money because the splash plays weren't there, even though consistently down to down he was playing good football. So now 2 turnovers a turnover in back-to-back weeks is big for him with that. Jaquan Brisker is finally kind of backing up some of his talking. He's starting to get on my nerves a little bit. I love Brisker, but he's got to settle down while we're not winning games and while we're not playing great. I respect the confidence and I respect the fire, but as a wise man once said, there's a time and place for everything, not right now. Okay.
Ultimately, all you do if you don't back it up is put a target on your back, and in a losing season, what's the point in doing that?
Right. Exactly. And also pay Jalen Johnson. Give him whatever he wants. Whatever he wants.
I mean, not whatever he wants.
No, whatever he wants. We have the money to do it. And he's one of the 10 to 15
for 4 years. It would be.
I would give Jalen 15 a year over 4 years. Absolutely. I wouldn't second guess it. He's one of the 15 best corners in football, and we haven't had a legit number 1 corner since Kyle Fuller.
maybe I'm just delusional and I don't know the pay scale of NFL cornerbacks. But like,
I think
I know
I'm trying
Ramsey's
to
at like
remember.
20, but that's because it's Ramsey.
Right, but Ramsey's also a little underpaid right now. The pay scale of corners is weird because all the best corners are still on their rookie contracts, essentially. Like, there's a couple standouts with, like, Humphrey and Lattimore, but, like, Sauce Gardner, Christian Gonzalez, Tariq Woolen, all those guys are...
So 15 be around like Carlton Davis, J.C. Jackson.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
That
I'm
makes
paying
sense.
him...
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just
That's what I was
delusional and don't know
thinking.
the pay scale of quarterbacks.
Yeah, no. I'd give him $15 million a year and not think twice about it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, perfectly valid. I'm just, my
Because they've
brain
got
just,
the money to do it. And Chicago has had a habit over the past like decade of finding talent and then letting it go. And I think Jalen would be a good guy to maybe break that precedent. And for Ryan Poles to be like, hey, listen, I've had to deal with 2 big names defensively so far. I paid the corner, I didn't pay the linebacker.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to be. However, your boy Mooney, I wouldn't pay.
Go on, dude. I mean,
He hasn't done anything.
I know, but yeah, I love
I love Mooney
people
too,
for us.
but I mean, at this rate,
You know what's gonna happen?
If I'm
It's
being
gonna
honest.
be the same thing that happened to Monty. He's gonna go to the Lions,
Okay.
and I'm gonna cry. Like, because
Mooney going to the Lions doesn't scare me.
no, it didn't scare me. I'm just saying that I know everyone had like attachment to Monty. I was like kind of like, okay, he's here, he's good enough to like carry our running
That's
back.
how I feel about Mooney.
But Mooney is like my favorite player in like the NFL, like entirely. So like,
Why is your favorite player a mediocre wide receiver?
bro, you've seen my favorite quarterbacks.
Yeah, one's an MVP candidate.
Yeah, right now, but he wasn't before the season. Everyone clowned me for it.
Well,
And Baker
either way.
Mayfield is also like my second favorite quarterback. That's not Justin Fields.
He's Baker. Everybody loves Baker, unless you're a fan of, I don't know, who did Oklahoma fuck over? I don't watch college
Ohio
football.
State, I think.
Nicole, you're a college football person.
Is that what they did the
he
flag
planted
thing?
the
Or
flag in Columbus.
Yeah.
He did inappropriate motions at Kansas. He's
Inappropriate motions.
well, that's because they
Yeah.
didn't shake his hand.
that.
What, did he
but
air
then
thrust?
Kansas didn't
No,
shake his hand,
no,
so
but
he
he
really
grabbed
just like
Oh, he
Very well.
Marshawn Lynched him.
yes.
Okay,
to
gotcha.
Kansas. Like this is, and I love.
That's what
Kansas
made me love him
football.
though. Because he said,
Oh yeah, no, and I love
Team.
Kansas football. They're good now, but they were not good then. They were not good when Baker played them. There was no reason to do that.
Yeah,
That's-
no,
I
that's,
love it.
punching
It's all
down.
competitiveness.
it's
Like,
the
Baker,
exaggerated
you punch
swagger of a quirked up white boy. That's what it is.
It's the opposite of the Miles Morales review.
I'm glad I figured you'd get the reference. Okay, but yeah, like
I got it too.
I forgot who I was talking to for a second. Of course, you both got it. But no, the point is like I like Mooney too, and I think I don't know, maybe if Mooney wants to stick around for like dirt cheap, but he doesn't seem like a dirt cheap kind of guy.
Yeah.
So plus like he has 1,000-yard receiver. Maybe you can put it up to like, hey, you know, he had a bad quarterback this year. That's why he didn't produce. Whatever. But
It's
then
also-
again, DJ Moore's he was top 5 in receiving yards. I don't know if he is now, but
But the thing you remember also that like the statement that Mooney has made kind of leans itself to that maybe he just wants to be a bear. Maybe he just wants he'll pay for cheap, but like he just wants to be. We're just doing dogs today, I guess.
yeah.
My
dogs are downstairs.
I know. I gotta feed you. I'll feed you right after we're done with this. Okay. All right. They're just all after now. But like Mooney wants to be. I think he wants to be a bear, and the comments he's made is that we just gotta play better. We're just gonna be a better team to win games, and that's all we gotta do. And I think that lends himself maybe to a cheaper contract. Maybe not like dirt cheap, but like cheaper than a higher paid contract that he was probably owed at the beginning of the season. So
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, I just want to see him in a Bears uniform until the day he dies.
I don't know. What do you think?
He might, but if he asks for an overpay, he's not getting paid. Like
No.
it's
Somehow we
nowhere
have
close.
balls from Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, settle down.
I hate to say it, but yeah, the Bears. I love Mooney too. They won't lose sleep over losing him.
No.
If he doesn't want to take a team-friendly deal to stay, he's not staying.
Especially if they land a certain wide receiver from Ohio.
Yeah, Ikemeka Ubaka. I don't know his last name.
That sounded racist.
I think I butchered the whole name.
That sounded like a slur.
Nicole, how do you say his name? I just
Nneka Ibuka.
Thank you.
You put in like 50 more syllables in there.
Listen, you sounded like a 50-year-old white man trying to say that name.
Because I'm petting two dogs right now for really want attention, and at the same time trying to remember a guy's name who I don't watch. So.
Okay, well, still.
My question is, since the Panthers are being so bad and they're probably never going to win a game, do we trade that for and just move back a peg with Arizona and get like Marvin?
No, because we need a quarterback.
You really think we're on the Caleb train?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
listen.
If we,
I'm not even.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm not like out on Fields, but if he doesn't turn shit around quickly, and we have the number 1 overall pick, there's no world where you don't take Caleb. And even then, even if Fields turns shit around and you have the number 1 pick, I don't know if you pass on Caleb.
I still have faith that Fields can be the guy.
I want him to.
I might be delusional to think that he can still be the guy. Not the guy I want him to be, just that I think he can be. I think that you just need to get out of fucking Chicago, or we're rolling in dough and get Flus out of any offensive calling. I know.
Maybe that's all it needs. He just got jumped.
Big dog.
You really like Flus that much? You're like, oh, okay.
He got straight up jumped.
Hi, puppy.
Hey.
This is the puppy.
No, that is a puppy. They're all puppies.
Well, this one's still like under 2, so yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect.
You're not. I understand why you're moaning and groaning right now. I can't deal with you guys right now.
Oh, but the thing with Caleb Williams, though, is I think we throw around the word generational too much. I think he's good. I think he's great even. I don't think he's generational. I think Trevor Lawrence was generational. I think Andrew Luck was generational. Outside of those guys the past 10, 11 years, I don't think we should throw the word generational as especially as prospects go.
No, it's for every 10 years you get one of those guys.
Right.
And we got Trevor.
Andrew Luck, and then it was Lawrence. Now, who knows? But he's good. And if you are in the 1 or 2 position, it does feel like no matter how well Fields plays, you have to take a quarterback, because why else are you in that position in the first place? You could say the same about last year, but the quarterback class was weak last year, comparative to other years. Even if Young turns out to be good and as well as Stroud has looked so far, it was still weaker than comparative to last year's.
There's also the issue that all these rumors I kind of been bringing up is that either A, he doesn't want to play for the Bears, he wants to play for like 5 teams.
I don't buy any of that shit, dude.
Or he wants ownership.
The ownership thing is out of nowhere. Got pulled out of nowhere, and he won't play for the Bears thing. That's his dad, right?
Yeah, but like
that was the thing with the Cardinals too, man.
These are rumors that are
it's
kind of credible at this point. Like maybe not ownership. The ownership thing is kind of like out of this world. Like they want to give Patrick Mahomes ownership to the Chiefs.
Dude, listen. Here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, I don't care what money he's making from the NIL deals. I don't care about any of that. If he has the opportunity to be the number 1 overall pick and get like a $30 million contract or whatever it is the first overall pick gets, he's not going to pass up on it just because he doesn't want to play in the city or the team isn't good enough. You don't pass up on being the first overall pick. It doesn't happen. That would be an insane sense of entitlement. An absolutely like absurd sense of entitlement. No one's ever done it before. Not to my knowledge, at least. Maybe one guy did in like the 60s and then died, but
Eli Manning, but
they're not relevant.
I'm just thinking like because Caleb hasn't played well over the last few weeks, has he? Because he threw 3 picks like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So I don't know if he's trying to tank his draft stud because he doesn't want to be in this position or
no one is doing that.
Dude, he can, if he literally sat for the rest of the season, he could still be the number 1 pick.
Right. Yes, no one is trying to tank their draft stock. That would be the
It happens.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It definitely
Stop listening to Emmanuel Acho, man. Please.
Players do not intentionally tank their own draft stock. That would be asinine
a better position than others.
Backwards. He's
At
going to
the
be in
end of
a
the
better
day-
position by making less money.
Yeah. Some people just want to win, and I don't know if the Bears are in the position to make Caleb a winner off the bat.
Okay, Grayson.
Yes.
I hear you. Counterpoint. Shut up. Because
Real.
like, yeah, no one. We go through this every year. I feel like with maybe players or teams, especially in the NFL, coaches and players don't tank. Players in college especially don't take. They're trying to win the last Pac-12 championship. They're trying to win. They're trying to get to a playoff. They're still playing for things, and they need Caleb Williams to do that. He just straight up hasn't looked good the past few weeks, which is why I say we throw the word generational around too much. He's great. He can create stuff. He's fun to watch, but everyone's talking about this particular team that's under NCAA investigation who doesn't play anybody. Meanwhile, the Trojans don't play anybody either. The first lick at defense Caleb Williams gets with Notre Dame and Utah hasn't been that impressive. So I'm just saying it had to be said.
A concern to be struggling with. I mean, I got these guys are trying to be like all stars in the NFL with Ohio State, especially. But like, if you can't do well against these college teams, how are we expecting them to face against, the Jets? Like,
This was the criticism with Zach Wilson too, because he looked just okay against what conference was BYU in like the Mountain West and whatever. He looked just okay against those guys. He had one amazing throw at Pro Day that tricked everyone into thinking he was good. I'm kind of happy for the guy now, in spite of everything what he's doing, even though it's still not spectacular. Kind of happy for him, but like, it's driving me crazy with the Zach Wilson #1 overall talk. It was like, he's not that guy. I'm sorry, he's not that guy. I don't want to root against him. Happy to be proven wrong. He's not that guy.
You always got to look out for those like late risers. I don't believe in any of those late risers talks. Whenever like Zach Wilson, who was last season, someone jumped up really far that was supposed to be there.
Adi?
Huh?
Adi?
No, I'm thinking Levis. That's something.
Levis wasn't a late riser though.
He was the first. He was like the first or second pick of the second round.
Yeah, but everyone was projecting him to be in the top 10. So like I'm saying, like this draft.
That's not a late riser. He dropped.
What I'm saying is that all those every one of those draft experts were like jumping him.
Talking about Levis starting 2 years ago when he was really good at Kentucky, and then cooled off on him a little bit when he had a down year, and then when draft season came back around, they were like, "Hey, remember when he was really good when he had an offense? He wasn't a late riser. People just cooled off on him because everything around him sucked." Will Levis isn't Zach Wilson. That's still to this day one of the laziest takes I've ever seen.
I'm not making that take. I'm just saying when I see those risers in the draft, whenever like we haven't heard that throughout the whole season. Like we have like the guys right now. We have like Drake May. We have Caleb. We have Penix.
JJ McCarthy.
I guess JJ McCarthy.
I guess.
I don't want to tell it. And you got like
does he come out this year?
He can.
Oh, okay.
He's
so
a
what is
junior.
he? Soft? Oh, he's a junior. Okay, cool.
So we have like those 5 guys. If anyone outside those like 5 guys jump up rather fast.
Yeah. Respect Holt and Ehlers, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very, very skeptical of any guy you come out of your mouth because his name's Holton.
Yeah.
Also, Quinn Ewers, I'm gonna be very skeptical of if he jumps up because his name is Quinn and his last name.
What you got against guys named Quinn?
Because his first name's not Harley.
The single season sack leader all time for the Chicago Bears, his last name was Quinn. You got a problem with Puerto Rican Bobby?
No, I'm saying his first name's not Harley, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just
horny.
What?
Horny.
Anyways,
I didn't deny it.
I'm Holy Quinn, man. Anyways, I'm really skeptical of any of those guys who rise up really fast, like a Zach Wilson, and I know that
Bro doesn't believe in underdogs. That's crazy. He only wants the blue chip pedigree.
No, I believe in them. Like I didn't believe in Purdy last year because I thought that was all kind of just him riding the wave. But this year he's looked really good. I believe him now. I think he can potentially be a really good starting quarterback in the NFL. I just need proof first.
Okay, fair. Nicole, question. I'm a terrible North Carolina fan for not knowing this. How do we feel about Drake May?
So aside for a sec, I'm personally very big on Michael Penix Jr.
Okay.
But as a scout, if you're looking at what kind of pro career he could have, Drake May does seem like that guy. He just has the tangibles. He has the size. He has the footwork. A little more clean in the pocket. A little bit of cleaner vision. Maybe I'm just skeptical about UNC guys wearing the number 10 coming out of college, but but I don't know. I think I need to watch more UNC tape to really make a clear judgment on him. Because he is on a lot of boards second to Caleb Williams, and that's not without reason. When he's good, he looks very good, very poised in the pocket, leads his receivers, makes throws that shouldn't be there, but he makes them anyway. Yeah, I need to watch more UNC, but he's solid. He's very solid. I'm just a bigger Michael Penix fan.
We'll take Talia in the 4th, and we'll be happy about it.
You sound like me trying to hype up quarterback came out the same year as Fields. He was I want to say he was Hawaiian, maybe Samoan, and he went to the Vikings. He had a big throw where he threw the Kellen Mond. Yes, that's what you sound like right now.
I know.
I tried to sell myself on Kellen Mond in 2021.
Kellen Mond is a practice.
Oh, you poor thing.
No, I remember that offseason. I was like, okay, dream scenario for the Bears. Tevin, because I didn't think we'd land any of the top quarterbacks. I was like, Tevin Jenkins in the 1st round, Kellen Mond in the 2nd round. We're cooking. I was half right.
Well, Tevin was in the 2nd, so.
Yeah, he was in the 2nd round, but I'm saying we got Tevin Jenkins. And even then, I want to victory lap this. Even then, I said Tevin would make a better guard than he would a tackle. And look who was right. It was me.
The Skoronski argument before Skoronski came out.
Well, Tevin, he's just he doesn't have the I don't know how to put it. I don't want to say the refinement because I'm not saying every left tackle needs to be light on his feet and technique specialist, but he's just always been more of a bruiser and a mauler to me. I say it all the time. He reminds me a lot of Kyle Long, and unfortunately, he's having the same injury issue that Kyle Long did so far. But I hope he figures that out because this is my redemption arc for being a Kyle Long stan, not just fan, a stan. I had to bring him up. We have to have him once an episode. I had to hit our quota.
Episodes you have not been a part of, we make sure we bring him up. So
I had to hit the quota. But yeah, the reason I bring up Drake May is because obviously I'm a North Carolina fan, and I don't watch a lot of college football, so I'm more like UNC for basketball. And apparently I have been a moron for not watching it because UNC's been winning and people really like Drake May. But I'm seeing a lot of people with the recent skid that Caleb's been on trying to bring up Drake and be like, maybe there's a conversation for QB1. So I don't know. I'm excited to watch them this year. Last year I started out, first player I watched was Anthony Richardson. And I think this year the first player I watched is going to be Drake May. I'm really excited about Drake.
That's fun.
Plus, Luke May's one of my favorite basketball players ever. If his little brother came in and was the savior of the Chicago Bears, I'd be on cloud fucking 9. Oh. This is my redemption. Listen, I wanted Luke May as a Chicago Bull incredibly badly. The second best thing we can get is Drake May as a Chicago Bear.
Okay.
And I think there's a third brother. We'll draft him too. I don't even know if he plays ball.
We have to make out the draft with Marvin Harrison. That's all I know.
Well, Marvin Harrison or an edge.
As long as you get Marvin.
An edge, left tackle.
We'll get Jared Verse in the 2nd round somehow. It'll end up that way. But moving on, since we're hitting the hour mark here, Chargers. We play them on Sunday Night Football, which is I don't know how we're gonna do that.
It'll be an interesting game because the Chargers defense is not that great.
I mean, there's
I know.
Hulking beast on their side. So.
They have Khalil Mack. I understand that Khalil Mack has been I hate to say it, he's been a stat patter. He's not actually been that incredible. If you look at his pressure numbers, they are very low relative to his sack numbers. I think pressures are if you're going to use just a stat, which I hate, but if you're going to do it with edges, I think pressures matter more than sacks because if you're consistently getting pressure on the quarterback, that matters a lot more than every once in a while getting home, right? So despite Mac having 7 or 8 sacks, his pressure numbers are very low. So all that's telling me is when he's getting to the quarterback, he's getting there, but he's not getting there often. And that's not great. However, we do have Larry Borum, so we will see. But I'm not worried about their defense. Offensively, I'm a big Justin Herbert guy, so it'll be interesting to see him going against a defense with no pass rush. But on the bright side, our run defense numbers will probably stay high because the Chargers don't know how to run the football.
Well,
their secondary is also a big question mark too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe Tyson can do it again because I think Fields is likely out for this week again.
Yeah, I think Flus already confirmed it.
Or we just start Trace McSorley and we win the game because he's jumping down.
Sure. I'm also I was going to say Trace McSorley, but I'm also a big Justin Herbert guy. I think giving him time, I think he's going to remind people why he's good again. I'm going to be honest. I think our secondary can have a very solid day, but Keenan Allen is very tough to guard. But this is an interesting matchup because obviously we're not good, but they should be good and they're not good. But like I said this about the game against the Raiders. This feels like another game where it's going to be who can coach their team the worst again. Because
let's go. We're going against Brandon Staley. We did it.
We are going against someone worse than Josh McDaniels, if you can believe it. Eberflus already outcoached Josh McDaniels, which is a low bar. But, like, Staley might be worse.
We're so back. We are so back.
Oh, my God.
We are so unbelievable. We have never been this back before.
The 10th overall pick.
What?
We're just more away to the 10th overall pick.
Hey, listen. That's okay. If we're drafting 10th overall, that just means we get to draft an edge.
Well, we also Carolina pick, my guy. So we just take Marvin Harrison and then get Jared Burris. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that works. I don't care what 2 players we pick as long as one of them is Marvin Harrison Jr. So, but back to the Chargers, neither teams are coached well. Both teams have a big question mark at coaching. Both teams have a big question mark potentially at quarterback question mark if I go that far. But
I think that's underselling Herbert.
I'm exaggerating, but okay,
valid.
They could have a question at quarterback only because of Brandon Staley and only because of his coaching. And this is kind of what I said about Trevor Lawrence when he came into league. I was like, my only concern for him is he's coached by Urban Meyer, because coaching matters a lot. And oh boy, we could have another really interesting game on our
hands. Is Urban Meyer going to Michigan State?
Say again?
Isn't Urban Meyer going to Michigan State?
No.
I thought I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he goes back into coaching at all. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
You guys know... Sorry, not to cut you off, Nicole, but you guys know those... You know those, assisted living facilities they have for, single middle-aged men?
That's where you're going?
Yeah, that's where I hope Urban Meyer goes. I think that would be pretty cool.
I thought that's where you're going.
Great.
Well, I'm not going there. I'm not a middle-aged man. Despite what my... I have a full beard. I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt and aviators, so looks may deceive you, but I am not a middle-aged man. You look
like the SNL, the Bears guys.
I look like Bill Swirsky?
I don't know what his name is, but sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's a compliment if I've ever gotten one. That's who I aspire to be.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. Well, they anointed Peyton Manning, so now he's officially a Bear legend. So.
I'm the most Chicago non-Chicagoan on the planet.
I don't know about that, man.
Probably not true, but fuck it, we ball.
Hey, have you ever been to Chicago, my guy? You're coming to Chicago. I'm driving.
I look like somebody that should be from Chicago, but no.
You do.
I've never been to Chicago.
It's very Midwestern coded of you.
I am the most Midwestern coded East Coaster on the planet.
Oh
my God.
we're dragging out to Chicago. We're gonna do. Nicole's gonna fly in. Jared's gonna fly in for his yearly Bears game. We're all gonna have an in-person bear down.
Oh dear God, I'll end up fighting you halfway through. I don't know if we're gonna have to get like a protective glass case for you. Because I will start swinging if you say some dumb shit like you said earlier again.
I would be so thrilled to be in attendance for this.
I get an assault charge over a fucking podcast.
I'm not telling anybody unless Grayson presses charges.
I probably won't push charges. I'm not that type of dig. If I say something stupid, I say something stupid.
I also say that like I'd win a fight. I've been in one fight in my entire life, and the kid tried to run away the whole time. So I'm not an aggressive person.
I take that as a win.
I mean, I get no. All right, so little lore for you, right? Back in middle school, there was this kid that bullied me all the time. And so finally one day in gym class, I had told my dad about it, and he was like, "Hey, go fight him. You know, stand up for yourself." So I remember I walked into school that day, and I was like, "All right, I'm doing this. I'm going to fight him. It's going to happen in gym class. I'm going after him." So I was like hyping myself up the whole day. And I remember I told one of my buddies, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to get suspended today. I'm going to fight somebody." He was like, "All right, man. Sounds good." What? Yeah, I told him like I'm going to get suspended today because I'm going to fight somebody.
I think suspended. I'm like, what the fuck is suspended?
I don't know what that would be either. So we were in gym class, and I don't know about you guys, but when we had gym class and we walked in, we had to sit in these rows with like our gym clothes and stuff, and then we'd get dismissed into the locker room to change by our rows.
Cool.
So I was sitting in my row, and this kid was sitting like 2 rows away from me. And I remember I kept looking over at him, and I was like, "All right, this is it. I'm gonna kick his ass. I'm gonna fight him." And we walked into the locker room, and the kid must have like seen me giving him looks, so he hid behind the water fountain. There's like a divot in the wall where the water fountain was. And I remember I turned and I just started hitting him, and they were like bitch hits. I was in the 7th grade. I didn't know how to throw a punch. I was hitting him with like my wrist, like it wasn't anything. And then he grabbed a handful of my hair and ran up underneath of me. So I chased back after him, and that's how I got caught by one of the teachers. If I wouldn't have chased back after him, I wouldn't have gotten in trouble. But that's the story of the one fight I've been in. Yeah, see. Yeah, I'm not a fighter. It's just not in me. I'm loud and I will fight with people. I'm not someone that'll swing. I don't know. I'm not an aggressive
I'm the same. I talk a big game, but in reality, no.
I mean, if someone swung at me, I'd be able to defend myself, but like I'm not somebody I'm not a meathead, is what I'm trying to say. I don't want to go around picking fights like a jackass. And that wasn't a brag, that story, by the way. That was just to show you how fucking dumb I was in middle school, that I got excited over the fact that I was going to fight a kid.
I mean, fair enough.
That was very dumb of me. Anyways,
it's not
football.
All right. Chargers game. How do you think this is going to end up? Because I don't see it in any way besides Justin Herbert fucking torturing us.
I don't know, man. I went into the Raiders game with no expectations, and I ended up happy, so that's what I'm going to do again. I'm never going to have expectations for a Bears game again. Fuck it.
Yeah, that Vikings game, I was soaring on a high, and I immediately crashed down.
Exactly. That is exactly what happened.
That Vikings game was terrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to expect much either. I'm not going to expect Tyson to do what he did again. I'm going to, because they have tape on him now. I'm not going to expect Dante Foreman to do what he did again. I'm just going to go in and hope everyone has fun. Yeah, they look competent. Because Miller, you put it perfectly. No expectations.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a Darnell Mooney masterclass. It's going to happen.
No, the only thing I'm hoping for is we've had it the last 2 games. I need it 3 in a row. I need a beautifully well-executed Kari Blasingame lead block on a pitch play, because my God, he's been putting on teach tape on those plays. Like it's beautiful. Back-to-back weeks, he's had at least one play.
Crooked.
I don't care. I'm already wearing aviators. I look like a jackass. Who cares if they're crooked?
You sound like a fuckboy right now when you're doing this.
Listen, okay. Is that any better?
It's a tiny better.
Whatever. Fuck it. Again, I'm wearing aviators. I know I look like a jackass. I don't care. Back-to-back weeks, on a toss play, one of the assignments of a fullback is either hit the first guy you see or it's kick out the DB, right?
Uh-huh.
And Kari in back-to-back weeks has flawlessly gotten perfect leverage, perfect hand placement, and driven a DB out of bounds to help a running back pick up 5 extra yards. And that matters to no one but me. But oh my god, every time it happens, I'm go fucking ballistic.
So where's the video, my guy?
Well, they're only letting him play 4 snaps a game, and I can't make a 10-minute video on 1 snap.
You can do it on the last few games he's had.
Yeah, well, maybe I have something maybe I have something in the works that you don't know about.
Well, clearly you don't, because you're scrambling to figure out an answer here.
I'm not. You don't know what I'm cooking up. I have a video about a guy who's no longer with the team in the works, and then I've got a maybe I have. In fact, I'll show you right now.
Bro's making a Chase Claypool video.
I am making a Chase Claypool video. You're right.
Bro,
let's see here. 11/12/23. I have in my notes. Make video on Kari Blasingame. Potential
11,
title.
12. We are on October 23rd.
Yeah, 11 days ago. 11 days ago. That's how long I've been working on this fucking Claypool video. I put it in my notes, and I have potential title ? Untapped weapon in Chicago. So fuck you.
Anyways, Nicole, how do you think this Chargers game is going to end up for us?
Going off the no expectations thing. Sorry, I'm also watching the Diamondbacks game. But they got a hit off an error. But going off the no expectation thing, I'm gonna say the Chargers win. I think it's closer than people think. I think it's pretty low scoring. I'm gonna say the Chargers win 17-10. I think it's pretty low scoring.
I can see that.
I'm probably significantly wrong. But that's okay.
Miller's glasses are really bothering
me. What?
Your glasses are really, one part's covering your eyebrow bone here. The other one's
really going
into your optical socket. And I can see your eyes behind the glasses, so they're not even that great of aviators.
I know, they're really shitty aviators. I think I got these from a dollar store for $1 3 years ago.
Fair enough.
In fact, fun fact, I got these for the express purpose of making TikToks. Yeah, I used to do this bit where I'd try to do little I'd try to do comedy sketches on TikTok. They flopped because I'm not funny. But I tried to do little comedy things, and it was I'd have Mitch Trubisky, and then Nick Foles would just be me wearing aviators and bullying Mitch Trubisky. Again, they weren't funny.
Bring them back.
No.
Yes.
No, because I'm not funny.
You can do it, man.
I will stick to serious analysis.
You're
although I won't lie.
At, my guy.
Listen, I won't lie. I do sometimes come up with ideas for things that are funny to me, but would be funny to nobody else.
You're a theater kid. Just do it.
Speaking of theater kid, I watched Barbie over the weekend. I told you guys this, but I watched Barbie for the first time over the weekend. And after I heard I'm Just Ken, the first thing that came to mind was someone making a parody of that. And it's just called I'm Just Mitch. And it's him singing about how he's been replaced by bad quarterbacks.
Well, they did
but nobody cares about Mitch.
You should do that.
They did.
I would if I was good at anything.
Did you see the SNL one they did with Pete Davidson?
It's pretty good. Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Yeah. But unfortunately,
I haven't watched this past week's episode, but they were on their game in the first episode.
Yeah, they did that. They didn't miss Pete Davidson, Taylor Swift skit, where he was the sideline reporter.
And Travis Kelce.
He is not seen.
Oh.
Speaking of which, fuck you if you have a problem with the NFL bumping Taylor Swift.
Oh no,
you're weird if you have a problem with that.
I only have one problem.
God forbid something be bigger than the NFL. God forbid.
God forbid a woman be involved in football.
Also that.
Yeah.
I got one problem with it though. I got one problem with it.
What?
There's not enough of Taylor Swift. We need her, and after every play, we need her reaction.
We need her at every game at the same time. Clone her.
Did you see her and Brittany Mahomes have a handshake now? It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see her reaction when Travis went down with an ugly fall against the Chargers?
No, and that's the funny thing too. I know we keep going off topic. Whatever.
But
her watching Travis is just so wholesome.
It is.
She gets so genuinely excited anytime he does anything.
or scared when he falls like really ugly.
Right. It's so adorable.
They
I
care
love
for
it.
each other. And
I'm rooting for that.
I want a woman to look at me doing my mundane things the way Taylor Swift looks at Travis Kelce catching footballs. That's what I need in life. If she isn't like that, I don't want.
That's what we should all strive for.
Exactly.
Well, Miller, if you're homies with Travis Kelce, I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift is that like great friends with Haley Steinfeld. She's in a video of her, so I know Josh Allen currently has the lockdown, but
Hey, I haven't seen
kill
her
this man.
watching Josh Allen play football.
that's true. That's true. You have a chance, Miller.
Don't give me hope.
All right, Hawkeye.
That's the last thing I need is more delusion.
You can't be more delusional than I am, or a Pittsburgh fan. So you know.
That's right. I can't be more delusional than you. That's very true. I couldn't if I tried.
It's quite hard. It's been years in the making of how delusional.
You are the definition of Delulu, dude.
I almost respect it at this rate.
I mean, at a certain point, you have to. Yeah, like thinking that
You have no other
Insomniac Peter
choice.
Parker would beat up Peter B. Parker. That's crazy.
He absolutely fucking would.
Wait, sorry, who?
Insomniac Peter Parker would whoop the ass off of Peter B. Parker.
Nah.
You
Peter
haven't
B.
played-
Solo's the
You haven't
verse.
played Spider-Man 2, my guy.
Doesn't matter. Peter B. Solo's the verse.
Bro is so biased.
Yes, incredibly.
I don't know. Hasn't Peter B. Parker been on the game more than Insomniac's Peter Parker?
Yeah,
Hasn't
but
he
like,
been
he's
doing it
also
longer?
out of shape and a dad now.
He's not out of shape anymore.
Yeah, he is.
Just because he had a kid doesn't mean he's out of shape. He's not the one. I don't know a proper way to put that. Never mind. We're gonna move on.
Bro was living a super cancelable thing.
No. I'm just saying, like, you know how after a woman gives birth, she still has like a little bit of the pregnancy weight left over.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's not like he has that.
guys get it too, man.
I mean, maybe, but he's fucking Spider-Man. He got back in shape. All right, he's chilling now.
Insomniac's still woke.
Plus, game is game.
Go swing a lap around the city one time and you're fine.
Right. Plus, he's got more game than any Peter Parker.
Insomniac is, I mean,
Dude, listen. You don't understand. This man
You're so
got
off
dumped.
topic.
He got this
You're
man got
so off
dumped
topic.
by. Listen, he got dumped by Mary Jane.
Uh-huh.
Showed up at her doorstep, and then barely 10 months later, they have a kid.
Bro was in Black Cat on accident.
She scares me. She doesn't
Black
count.
Cat?
Yeah, she scares me. She doesn't count.
I think the point is that she should scare you. That's why she's her. I'm trying to avoid the obvious word. Anyways, the Bears.
Yeah, that word. You know what? Never mind. I'm not going to do that to you while we're recording. I'm not going to do that to you while we're recording. I think you know where I was going to go with that, but
I'm right here at the certain moment. But the Bears are.
I'll just say D&D and we'll move on.
Okay. Yeah, the Bears. We win in. Hopefully,
Maybe.
could. It's a possibility. No,
Maybe not.
That's the goal for the season.
I just want everybody to have fun. You know, I just want everybody to have a good time, enjoy themselves.
You're
Can't
really
ask
fit
for
into
much
that
more than
Hawaiian shirt, aren't you, right now?
What?
You're really fit into the Hawaiian shirt right now, aren't you?
I mean, yeah, I think it fits me pretty all right.
I mean, your personality right now is just.
No, I'm aware. I was making a dad joke to go along with it, Grayson.
It wasn't a very good one.
Isn't that the point of dad jokes?
Those good dad jokes. That wasn't a good dad joke.
Let us know
You're
down
lucky
in the
you're not
comments
sitting on
below
show.
if that was a good dad joke.
If anyone makes it this far, because I think we went super off topic 4 times.
Listen, the 5 people that watch our podcast are 5 people that would care about the things we were talking about,
Yeah,
so
let's
we'll be
see.
fine.
It's been a few weeks since I actually uploaded, so.
Again, when Valente and Caleb and maybe Geek and Jarrett go back and watch this, they'll.
Hey, last week's episode was our 2 weeks ago. This episode's now our highest viewed video. Awesome.
Well, the people just don't want to watch me. That's what I'm hearing. and Grayson's become a robot.
I'm back.
Oh,
All right.
not completely.
He
Well,
was for a second.
Let's wrap this up. Yeah. Quick thoughts.
Just
Give
have
me
fun.
Give me a hot take.
You say you're gonna give a hot take?
Give me a hot take, Miller.
You want me to give a hot take?
Give me a hot take.
Like a Bears hot take or just
Yes.
in general?
Or Chargers, either one.
I don't fucking know. Tremaine Edmonds was worth the money. That's a hot take, according to most Bears fans.
All right, we're gonna end up on our video.
I don't know.
All our socials should be on the screen.
Jalen Johnson's a top 10 corner.
There's your hot
I'll
take.
say that.
All right, we'll end it off with that. And or they'll be in the description below. We'll see you guys in the next episode when we talk about the Traders game. And I don't know who we play after that. So is it bye week?
I don't know, man. I'm just here so I can find.
We're just vibing.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
What the? I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that.